Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's dive dip, I thought we'd do something different and actually go outside of my house. Now, I actually live in Manchester, and here in Manchester, we have the world's oldest manuscript. Fascinating, I know, but it's a small piece of papyrus and it is from the book of John. And specifically John chapter 18, the front bit is from verses 31 to 33, and the back side of it is from verses 37 and 38. Now, this manuscript had been in Texas, and I'm hoping that by now it's back in the library. If they don't have it in the library, then we'll probably be looking at a copy or a replica the library has made. But in any case, today is the day that we'll actually go and see this papyrus. Manchester. So we're off to the library now. It's a bit weird, me filming in public, but we'll see. To go through there. I just put on my glasses because otherwise I'll be so blind. But let's see. I need to go through there. I found it. Okay, need to figure out how to get inside. Check out those books. So all the Kafafra, and I couldn't get to see the P52. But they do sell postcards, and this is it. It's much bigger than the actual. And the collection will not be in the library until next year, so it's quite late. But yeah, it's been an adventure. Hi everyone, so I'm back from my little adventure in Manchester City, visiting the John Ryland Library to check out the P52. Unfortunately, the P52 is not on public exhibition at the moment, and it won't be back on display until next year. So that is quite unfortunate. However, I was able to see a replica, and I've bought a postcard as well to show you for this video. Now this is the postcard that I have. Now this postcard, it is actually bigger than the actual piece of papyrus on display. So this is very much enlarged and it's a postcard size, yeah? Now, a few things. I do apologize, I'm going to get quite technical with this video. Now, this bit, the one that my hand is on right now, yeah, one hand is on right now. So this bit, that is the front of the papyrus. And that front, it is called the recto. Yeah. Now the recto, you will see that the lines, it runs horizontally. Yeah, horizontally. Now that recto, it has John chapter 18, verses 31 to 33. And that passage says, Pilate said, "Take him yourselves and judge him by your own law. But we have no right to execute anyone," the Jews objected. This happened so that the words Jesus had spoken indicating the kind of death he was going to die would be fulfilled. Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" So that would be on this piece of papyrus on this side. Now the back bit is called the verso. Yeah, and with the verso, you will see that the lines run vertically. Yeah, you can actually see the fibers. So the fibers run vertically. As I said, that's called the verso. And the verso has John chapter 18, verses 37 and 38. And it reads, "You are king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You are right in saying I am king. In fact, for this reason I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." "What is truth?" Pilate asked. With this, he went out again to the Jews and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him." Isn't that just beautiful? Yeah? So it's the trial of Jesus before he was executed. Now, having done that, one thing, when I was reading up prior to going, that the presence of this papyrus, it indicates that the early Christians, the 2nd century Christians, we were the early adopters of the Codex. Codex is simply the fact that the books that we had, or the written materials, were bound. So were bound together in a book. Yeah. So instead of it being in a scroll, we have a scroll right here. So instead of it being in a scroll, which you then roll out, the early Christians preferred to adopt their writing using the Codex. Yeah. And there were 3 reasons why they preferred the Codex. And first is for cross-referencing. They found it much easier to have this method because of cross-referencing. And this is something that we 21st century Christians still do today. We can cross-reference either through the footnotes that we have or the index that we have at the back of our Bibles. Yeah. So that was the first. The second is portable. So it was quite easy for them to transport it. Now this papyrus, it was found in Egypt in around 125 AD. So then scholars are saying, oh, so that means the early Christians, they had widely dispersed the writings as far as Egypt. Now remember, during Pentecost, they were still in Jerusalem. Yeah. But by this time, 125 AD, they were dispersed as far as Egypt. And this was found in Egypt. This was found in Egypt. It was found by a man named Bernard Grenfell, and he brought it over to the UK. Now, the sad thing is that when he brought it over to the UK, because he had brought like massive amounts of artifacts, it wasn't catalogued in time. So when he died, it still had like a generic referencing. So this generic referencing meant that it was essentially lost in the John Ryland's library. It wasn't until 1943 when an Oxford scholar named Colin, he came over to Manchester, and he was tasked with just referencing, and maybe, I'm not too sure if he was supposed to also transcribe the Greek manuscripts, but he discovered this, and it was back on public display. So it was properly catalogued and back on public display. Yeah. So this is an amazing thing about this. Now, having read through this without dive deep today, if there's one thing that I have learned, and I hope I'm able to translate it as well through this video, is that early Christians, our Christian fathers, they were writers, they were learners, they were people of the book. We were known as people of the book. And I believe for us as 21st century Christians, we need to honor them by going back to the book, like fully reading through, appreciating the words that we are reading, which is inspired by the Holy Spirit, and really appreciate that our faith is one that is based on this, book. And people have sacrificed their lives, and they have given their lives to preserve this book, to preserve the words of this book, the writing and the spirit of this book to us in the 21st century. So that is my hope for you in this video, that you will really get to appreciate the Bible that we have, the modern day Bible that we have, appreciate the amount of work that has been done to ensure that we have copies that we can use for our personal studies, and also make this Bible your own. Put in your notes, put in your thoughts along the margins, and this is something that you can pass down through generations to come in your family tree, and this is something your children or your great-grandchildren can look at and say, oh wow, this is how much this book was valued and was appreciated by this person. So I really hope that this video has inspired you. If you are in Manchester, probably not in 2026 but maybe 2027, I do encourage you to go to the John Ryland's library and check out the manuscript for yourself. Now that's all that I have in this video. Do subscribe, because I will try and get you exciting content about this book that I love so much, and I hope you get to love this book as well. So do subscribe, urge your friends to subscribe as well. And if you have any comments or any suggestions on further videos that I can do, please do put it in the comment section below, and I will look through them and I will try and make videos accordingly. That's all from me. Till we meet again next week, stay safe and God bless. Bye.